words on the project I will be representing. It is called EUDAT, European Data. I must admit I did not reckon on giving a presentation, so I just give a short introduction about what is EUDAT. The European Commission has been, the last years, facilitating building research infrastructures that are discipline-oriented. So you've got, for instance, they call S3 projects, you've got a project for the humanities, you've got a project for linguistics, you've got a project for earth science, projects for life sciences. So these are very much discipline-oriented. And we have now come to a stage where what I would call horizontal projects are being set up that try to find commonalities between all these discipline-oriented projects. And EUDAT, European Data, is one of these. So EUDAT is particularly concerned with data management. And it's, at this moment we are working with a few communities. One is the climatology people, earth science people, humanities, linguistics, and the biodiversity people. But we will be drawing in new communities as the project will develop. We imagine, or we want to be also a bottom-up driven project, which means we are looking around within these discipline-oriented projects and see what people are really needing, and we are starting up task forces to deliver services to solve their problems. At the moment we have identified a few of these areas where we can offer services. I will just mention a few. So there is, for instance, the safe replication thing. There is safety in numbers, so we want to be able to push data into safe repositories, and we are looking at the use of IRIS there at this moment. Another thing where we are putting in efforts is joint metadata domain. We really want to be something more than just a hard disk where people can store their data. We also want to provide facilities where people can find interesting data. So this means we have to spend lots of attention on the metadata, not only domain-specific metadata, but also metadata that can be of use within other domains, right? Because reusage of data within other disciplines can be very interesting. Another thing which is there is the simple store, as we call it. It's a facility for researchers that, or research projects that have a need for storage of their project data where their own institute or organization does not provide such a safe facility. So this is an interesting thing. We recently had a workshop around this facility, and one of the interesting things there is you have to decide, do you just offer something as a Dropbox to the researcher, or do you want to promote sharing of data? Well, in that case you have to, of course, provide the facilities that allows these users to share this data. Another thing is, somebody spoke here about pushing data to services is not often a good idea, so pushing services to data is perhaps a better idea. So looking at a flexible infrastructure for the deployment of services is something we are looking at. And of course, science is not a European or just a US thing. We have to look over our borders, what are the other people doing. So we recently had a trip within the United States and we've looked at Mercury, for instance, Mercury Consortium, which could be very interesting for our meta-domain efforts. So we like, for these service cases I mentioned, we like to cooperate with any US initiative that seems interesting, right? For instance, what we're doing, I'm here, this workshop, and at this moment there is a workshop in Copenhagen going on where US representatives are present. So I hope for fruitful discussions with you. And I thank you